Well, thank you for joining us here for the latest news where you live. I'm Joe Ellison. We're hearing from a heartbroken mother who is praying for answers. This is all while police search for her daughter's body. Fayetteville police have arrested 29-year-old Casey Jennings in connection with the murder of 28-year-old Allison Maria Castro. Now, here's a timeline of events from investigators. Last Monday, Fayetteville police received a call about a drug overdose at a Fayetteville home. There, they found Jennings and took him to the hospital. Police say while at the home, officers found several documents indicating that Jennings possibly killed Allison Castro and disposed of her body. Investigators believe the two were previously in a relationship and lived together. The department then called Castro's family, who said they had not heard from her for days and were worried for her safety. Detectives then started asking for the public's help to find her. Police arrested Casey Jennings on Monday, charging him with capital murder and abuse of a corpse. 5 News reporter Micah Wilson has more.
Allison was such a beautiful soul. Right now, I just honestly want to give all my love to my daughter.
Michelle Tomas, mother of Hawaiian native Allison Castro.
I was just confident that she was just going to be happy, and that's all that mattered, that she found her happiness.
Tomas says her daughter recently moved to Fayetteville from Louisiana.
In hopes of going to nursing school.
Those dreams cut short.
I thought my daughter was fine.
But news came last week. Police were investigating Allison's disappearance.
I want my daughter home. I want her back. This is the most challenging thing that I've ever had to deal with in my life.
Now, Tomas challenges others to keep her daughter's memory alive.
Reminiscing about the good times and, how much of a beautiful soul she is. She's still around me. Never forget her. Never, ever forget her. Because love trumps hate.
Well, that was Micah Wilson reporting. All right, before we get to some more news, let's get a check of the weather where you live with meteorologist Zach Scott. Hey, Zach.
Hey, Joe, let's talk about today, the rest of the work week, and look into the weekend a little bit. All right, high temperatures today, really the same as yesterday. When you talk about sensible weather, getting outside, it's not going to feel much difference to you today than it did from yesterday, right? But we should see some changes Thursday into Friday. I think we're going to try to get some cooler air, and you might start to notice a little bit of a change there. Good news is we still are dealing with the lower humidity. Bad news is we do need some rainfall. We've got sunshine and blue skies. We're the furthest from the rain chances you can get right here and right now with the dry, quiet pattern in place. Again, cooler air just to the east of us, trying to start nudging in from the east to the west. Some upper 70s for our eastern zones, low to mid 80s for overall most of northwest Arkansas, mid to upper 80s for the River Valley. So again, you see what I'm talking about there? Not much of a change from yesterday. Winds are overall light out of the east, so you're not going to notice a big difference. We should notice a difference going into tomorrow morning. More 40s and lower 50s mixing back in. Again, some of that warmer air started nudging in yesterday and early this morning, so we range from the upper 40s, mostly 50s, to the low 60s. I think we're cooler, even flirting with some upper 40s along the I-40 corridor. We've already seen some 40s earlier this week down into the Ouachita, so anticipating more of those. That cooler air's pushed in a little better as we get into Thursday. Upper 70s for northwest Arkansas, 70s to lower 80s for the River Valley. We'll get that for Thursday. Start to modify the air mass Friday, especially through the weekend. We're warming into the mid to upper 80s by Sunday. Another sunny couple of days with low humidity, so not bad there. Real quick, Joe, here we go. Again, the Hogs going to be in Fayetteville, back at home this Saturday. Obviously anticipating another full house with thousands of people heading into Fayetteville. You got a 2:30 kick, so there's going to be a lot of sunshine. You're going to be sitting in that sunshine, especially on the eastern half of the stadium. So have the shades, have the hat, prepare for that. Temperature-wise, not that bad. But again, the sun angle still, even in late September, it's going to be hot out there. Hopefully we can get the win. Joe?
All right, thanks so much, Zach. We'll see you out there at the game. All right, the number of monkeypox cases passing 25,000 in the U.S., and research is happening right now in Arkansas to find out why the illness is spreading so fast. The disease would usually stay localized to one area, but this year's outbreak has seen the virus spread from Africa, Europe, then the U.S., and across the world. That's why researchers with UAMS are working to map out the virus's mutations. They hope that will help show what's different from the previous outbreaks.
Identifying those mutations is the first step. And then what those mutations do is now the next step. And that would take work in the lab to figure that out.
The UAMS study will look at samples collected from monkeypox patients here in Arkansas to add to the research. They also add that right now, vaccines are our best way to combat the worst symptoms of the monkeypox virus. And an update to a story we've been following. The flags taken down at Riverfront Park in downtown Fort Smith do not have to go back up. Sebastian County Judge Gunnar DeLay ruled even though the Arkansas History Commission ruled the Confederate flag is historic, it does not mean the flag needs to go back up. Attorney Joey McCutcheon sued the city for removing the flags, alleging it was in violation of state law that protects historic monuments. Judge DeLay ruled since the flags were taken down before that law went into effect, they do not have to be returned. And close to 400 potential parolees here in Arkansas will likely be released in the next few months. Why? Because county jails all across the state are overcrowded. The 369 inmates will be released immediately if approved by the parole board. State law allows the Board of Corrections to speed up parole for certain offenders by 90 days if the prison exceeds 98% capacity for 30 consecutive days. There are still some questions, though. It's unclear if this means that inmates at county jails will get to be transferred to ADC prisons. In the Washington County Jail alone, there are more than 100 inmates who are waiting to be transferred to those prisons.
I think our new commits from circuit court are actually around 55 or 6. Well, hopefully we'll get to send a few down, but generally, we've been through this multiple times, and they've got to spread it around statewide. So as far as the level of impact that we free up beds here, it's not very much.
Now, this proposal still has to be approved by the parole board. And Oklahoma has one of the highest incarceration rates in the country. The state's prison system is facing a shortage of corrections officers. According to the Associated Press, 3 inmates and 1 guard have been killed at the Davis Correctional Facility in Holdenville over the past year. A 2021 audit shows the private prison operator CoreCivic has been operating with only 70% of its contractually obligated staffing level. And last month, the company agreed to settle a federal lawsuit all over an inmate's death in Tennessee linked to low staffing levels. And there's a new organization on the U of A campus called the Black Leadership Athletic Committee, created to enhance the overall experience for Black student athletes. 5 News reporter Rachel Williams shows us why this group is so essential for athletes.
The organization, known by the acronym BLACK, was founded by 11 student athletes after attending a Black Student Athlete Summit this past summer. The goal for this group is to have an inclusive environment for athletes.
And the purpose of this is not to be divisive. It's exactly the opposite. Right? It's just helping us understand a group, an experience that for a long time was and has been marginalized, and ensuring that everyone is celebrated so that we can all move forward at the end of the day.
Leah Smith and Frankie Price are 2 of the founders of this movement, both growing up in a white-dominated sport.
Having other Black athletes that you can go to and just talk about, our culture and our experiences is just a great thing to have.
The organization plans to use what it learned this summer by offering education, service, and fellowship.
Increase awareness of the Black student athletes that we have here on campus, enhance diversity, equity, and inclusion, create a support system for our Black student athletes because that's important too.
The group encourages other teammates and students to come to these events to learn and grow as allies of the Black community.
Sometimes we need to have hard talks, so if we're going to have a hard discussion, I think that everybody could benefit from it. I'm going to encourage my teammates to come, and I think they would all be so open to just coming and learning because that's like who they are.
In Fayetteville, covering news where you live, Rachel Williams, 5 News.
Well, thank you for joining us here today for the latest news and weather where you live. I'm Jo Ellison. Join us again tomorrow right here for more of those headlines. Have a great day.